Gangster remains intact. I had to make myself a Ghetto table saw here.
Do I fit in my secret pirate hole bag? You injured yourself and you're wearing safety goggles. Uh-oh. Because when it's moving and grooving and you're sailing, you don't want to bump your hip right into a sharp corner.
I don't.
That thing better work when we're done with this.
Your mama better work when we're done with this.
I'm Kristen, and this is Matt. We've spent the last 4 years sailing our $5,000 Craigslist boat to some of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. From spearfishing in South Andros, Bahamas, staying in a treehouse and riding horses through the rainforest of the Dominican Republic, to even dodging hurricanes in Puerto Rico. We could have never imagined what this adventure would become. After gaining more sailing experience, we knew we had to make some serious upgrades to our boat if we wanted to keep this journey going. So we decided to go all in with our 40-year-old boat and get a new engine. We soon realized that we were in for more projects than we originally planned on. There's going to be some major changes coming up, so hit subscribe and join us for the journey.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. Here we are for an exciting episode. I'm already, what is it called? Blowing at the seams?
Bursting at the seams.
I'm already blowing at the seams. I'm already bursting at the seams for today's project. Super exciting. It's just spiraled into something more and more, and now it's going to be really grand.
Grand.
Tell them what it is, Matt.
Bar.
We're making our own bar inside of our boat. I know that sounds crazy, guys. There could be a lot of visions right now. You could be thinking of a long bar with bar seats swiveling out and all that, but it's not that crazy. It's going to be built around our refrigerator that we have, and then it's going to have a nice countertop that's going to be cohesive with our galley area, and then we're thinking, we don't know exactly how it's going to work yet because we're obviously just making this up as we go. It's going to have a pull-out top, and then we're going to keep our liquors, wines, and bar accoutrements. So, you got anything to say before we get popping on this crazy project?
Yeah. It's bar time, and we're gonna go where everybody knows our name. Down, 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 down.
All right, let's
and
go.
We're always glad you came. All right, so the first thing we gotta do is get some measurements here for our height, rough measurements for our lumber that we're gonna bring in here. Because what we're gonna have here is this wall structure. We're gonna raise the fridge up just a little bit to get it where we don't have to be all the way down on the floor grubbing for our onions. We're gonna have a wall going in here, a liquor storage space over here. We're gonna leave some ventilation for the fridge so our liquor and our wines don't get boiled back here. We're gonna have a little spot here, hopefully inset, that can store our liquor, or maybe it's a drawer that comes out over there. We don't really know yet. And then we're gonna have a rounded cap here, which is gonna be the hard part, just so that it matches this and everything looks like it was made by the same person. Alright, so I got my wood piece in here, and now I have to obviously cut it so that it follows the hull. The hull goes up here, so I have to make a little notch out of the bottom so that I can slide this in here and see where my framework is going to end up.
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
You don't hear that?
Hear what?
Those sodas popping when we're about to pour in rum at our new bar. Boy!
Bro, leave the jokes to me, please, because you're not funny.
Be careful with that, baby. That thing better work when we're done with this.
Your mama better work when we're done with this. Sorry, Diane. Alright, now that I got the old girl all spit shine, she's looking good-ish. It's not perfect, but it's going underneath the fridge, so I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna build the base for my platform, and that's gonna serve two purposes. One, it's gonna elevate the fridge a little bit because it is pretty low to the floor, and you gotta crawl down here to get your jellos in the middle of the night, and you basically just lay next to the thing and do a Hasselhoff eating like a burger on the floor. And so it's always embarrassing to go that far. So I'm gonna raise it up, and then also it's gonna give me the structure at the bottom. Just to make sure this is a really solid build because I have the fridge in there. We sail in some rough seas, so I want something that's gonna be safe and sound.
Guys, it's the next day, and today's exciting step of our bar, we're going to be making the curved corner. Does that make sense? Yeah. Curved corner. You don't want to have sharp corners in your boat because when it's moving and grooving and you're sailing, you don't want to bump your hip right into a sharp corner.
I don't.
So we've engineered something together with our minds. And we went back and forth. I put my 2 cents in, he put his 2 cents in, and we think we came up with something pretty cool to make this curved edge. So let's...
To make it hard, to make it solid. And she's giving me too much credit. I wanted to do it some gangster, bougie, like, stupid way, and she said, look, keep it simple, stupid.
I'm trying to knock down how many nails are in these furniture pieces.
Yeah, so
I came up with
I like
an
her
idea.
way. Her way came good. And if you notice, we know it's the next day. I got the same laundry on. I can't do my laundry every day because I'm down here sweating. And they put a laundry machine in this place, $6 per load. I cannot believe it.
And we don't have our washing machine.
I can't believe they would do that like that. But I'm telling you, $6 laundry machine, y'all a little crazy out here. But either way, I digress. But don't make fun of me for being dirty and stinky.
That's probably the last thing they're going to make fun of you for. It's probably a ton of other things. Anyways, let's get right in to see how this thing starts shaping.
Alright guys, so here at Captain Uncle Matty's Carpentry Shack, you gotta do things a little bit less traditional. I know I get in a lot of trouble because I talk a lot of trash and I see these boys that come and say, oh, you're talking a lot of trash, but you do everything like everybody else. No, I'm not doing that. I had to do it super ghetto, so my gangster remains intact. People say I ain't gangster no more because I bought an autopilot. The gangster remains intact. I had to make myself a ghetto table saw here because these cuts I need to have both hands on it. I can't have one hand on the saw. So full discretion though, kids, don't try this at home. Don't flip a saw upside down and nail it to something and get down like that. This is not quite the right way. I know it's not right, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And it's not that bad. So Here we go, Ghetto table saw time. Alright, so I got a little overzealous with my saw and my wood. I was feeling too gangster, too ghetto. So I overshot the mark and I put it a little bit too deep. But luckily I got myself some 1/4 inch chitty chitty bang bang right here.
What's chitty chitty bang bang?
It's just chitty chitty bang bang. In the construction world, you know, it ain't quite right. Get some chitty chitty bang bang and just make it work. So I'm going to use this as a shim behind it, and it actually works out pretty perfectly.
Okay, chitty chitty bang bang.
Chitty chitty bang bang. And you know, actually I did this on purpose because I wanted that 1/4 inch PVC to be an insulator on this because it's the fridge. So I think that's actually really gonna help
Out
out.
of here.
That's the reason it's too big. So the next step here is going to be finding the middle, the center point of what's left of my 1x1, cutting a 45 off of the corner, and then I'm going to lean on it with a sander for about an hour, and then it's going to be a perfect cap cone. Ooh, it's going to be nice. Yeah, my homemade table saw wasn't working for the angulars, so I had to switch that up right quick to get that clean 45. So yeah, once we round it and round it, she's gonna be looking good. That's a very uniform cut there. I'm very satisfied with that. All right, so the next step is gonna be to just sand it down and give it that nice, shapely curve.
We're still covering it though with veneer or something, so it doesn't have to be
It's still
perfect.
gonna get, it's still gonna get peanut butter pied, but we, you know, for strength, this is gonna be a lot stronger than some sort of cut, bent plywood in there. I think this is gonna go pretty well, and you know, we just had to slow down and do it right.
Alright, how'd it come out?
Came out pretty good, I think.
Ooh, boy!
I made a square wood, round wood. I did that.
Let's see how it looks.
That's the way it goes.
Looks good.
I think she'll work. Alright guys, so today I'm having a battery crisis. I didn't charge all my batteries yesterday, and now I'm having them all up to like 1 or 2, and I'm just struggling. I've spent at least an hour and a half today changing
Switching
batteries.
your batteries.
Oh good lord, this was brutal. And I always pick up a tool, and I line everything up perfectly, and then I go. So, any other battery boys out there have that problem, let me know. Hashtag battery boys in the comments. Alright, so now we're going to frame in the edges of the faceplate here, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to stay on trend with all the things that I'm making, and I'm going to over-engineer it and make it removable. So that one day, if I ever need to take everything off to get in there, I can. If we get a new fridge, I'll be able to take things off and deal with that area. So instead of just building it all structurally one way and then putting the peanut butter pie on there, I'm going to make it where it can be taken out if you really got to take it out. But we looked online and all these little fridges are about the same size, so we give ourselves a 1-inch play in each direction so that if we end up getting a different model in a year or so, we'll be able to accommodate it.
What'd you do, Matt?
I made a bad cut, and it's a pain because I had to stop everything to make that cut. I made it, and it's not that bad. It's maybe the 16th that it kind of warbles there, but with a long straight piece, you're going to see it forever. It's going to be impossible to peanut butter pie. So, you know, boys, don't think I'm out here doing everything perfect just because I have a YouTube. And I could be a Pinterest liar and say, this is how you do it. Cut 3/4, and then I spend 3 days fixing it, but I act like I did it in 20 minutes. I'm not going to be that liar. I made a mistake, and now I got to recut my board, and I'm not happy about it.
Yourself and you're wearing safety goggles.
Yeah, if I wouldn't look at these blurry ass goggles, I probably wouldn't have cut my finger. That's the problem.
And now you bleeded into my cabinet.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby. It's only blood. People think blood's like this big, huge deal, but your body's full of it. When you lose a little bit, your body just makes some more.
Did it hurt though?
Not really. You can't lose too much at one time, though. That's where you start to get in trouble. So be careful, but I don't think much more is going to come out of this. Alright guys, so I cut my finger, and obviously I got the literal juices flowing out of my body, but it made the internal mental juices start flowing too, and I started thinking about blood being shed on the high seas, and I came up with a brilliant idea for safety. So I think I can make this bar top on a hinge and make a door in here so that if pirates come, Kristen can hide behind the fridge and they'll never find her. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like they'd be able to know and just lift it up and see me and kill me.
Oh. So not a great idea? You don't want me to build your...
I don't know. Vote in the comments, guys.
Yeah, should we have a panic room behind the refrigerator, or should we just maybe put this for more liquor storage? Let me know. So I got all my cuts done that I have to think about, all my square cuts, all the thinking man's carpentry cuts, and now I just got to throw some 2x4s in here and get it a little more solid because I'm going to have a fridge in here underway when I'm sailing, and it could possibly be a panic room for Kristen, so I need to have this thing started. Now I get to rip it and go fast.
Alright guys, the next step we need to do for our beautiful, unique, homemade bar is we need to make a wood countertop. It's not going to be wood finish countertop, it's just going to be wood for now. So we need to measure the wood, put that plopper on there, and down the road we're going to do some kind of countertop. But for now, we just need to cut it out. And do I fit in my secret pirate hole, guys? Oh. Sit right here, you know? I could have like a knife, so if someone opens it, I go, yeah! Okay, that's getting aggressive. Let's get back to making our cabinet.
But I forgot something that I have to move. Before I can put my countertop in here, obviously it falls right in the middle of my electrics. I got to get these out of here. And it kind of sucks because I'm very reliant on these. It's how I charge my batteries during the day.
You don't have any other one, do you?
I could use the shore power here because I'm at a marina, but to keep all my things functioning properly, I still use my solar and do everything that way. Just so that way the batteries are going through cycling. I don't want everything to sit and then I come back in the boat after 3 months of working on it. Hopefully only 3 months. And then something doesn't work and I have to chase something else down. So I'm keeping it fresh, but I have to take it out now, so I think I'll be reliant on another power source. When I was first building my boat, or not first building it, but back in the day, I had a couple of leftover extension cords because I was obviously running my generator a lot and I would run my extension cords all through the boat. Basically, I just used my extension cords to wire in all my plugs. So I don't know if that's like a hack if you got a bunch of old ones, but you know, it worked well for me so far. For some years now, it's been working good. Very complex problem, very complex solution. I just raised it up and nailed it to the wall so I can still use it. And now when I put my board in, it'll clear. It'll be all right for now. Getting ready for the, I don't know, the capping of the countertop. Basically, nobody wants a half-inch thick looking epoxy pour or granite counter. You want it to be like, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. You want it to look thicker so it looks more luxurious. So in order to keep the weight down, we're just doing a cap around that so it's going to overhang. So from the outside looking in, it looks thick. It looks luxurious, but really it doesn't weigh a ton.
It's just a stinky, dusty plywood.
It's just a stinky, dusty plywood underneath all that hard work. Alright, so, pardon me, I inhaled some sawdust. Now I'm going to cut that and then get my sander on it and blend that into a nice corner there. And then it's going to be wood glued, bondoed, and epoxied to give it the perfectly smooth lip. And then my bar top's going to be perfectly removable. I don't think I can do it on a hinge, so Kristen's got to go hide from the pirates. She's just going to have to get the drill in real quick.
Guys, that was a long project and we tried to whip it together fast and it came together pretty well. I'm hyped on it. I think the overall thing is going to look really professional once the countertops are poured epoxy and the sides are veneered. It's going to look like this boat was built with that thing. So much better than your old one that you made for that old ice cooler. That thing was horrendous in my opinion. And I didn't want to hate on it.
What was cool about that one though is I built a little igloo house for Bear to run into when we were sailing. Bear used to run up and she had a little house, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I think it looks really good. It's going to be much more functional. I'm happier about where the fridge is now, and I'm not going to have to worry about the fridge flopping all over when we're sailing. It's a containment area for it. We're going to gain some storage. It used to be a nav station, but it could still be just as much of a nav station as it was before. I'm pretty hyped though. I'm really happy with the way it came along. Obviously some more sanding, a little more tweaking here and there, but we're starting to plug some of these holes that we made in the boat. It's good to see things come and be finished. And I think you working with me, coming down here and helping me, it's been helping me get a lot done more. Rather than me having to build it, you come down and say that sucks, having to take it apart and then...
Well... It's hard being me. Let's just say that. So if you guys are interested in any of the projects we're working on currently, make sure you check out the links to our Patreon. And you got anything else to say? I say this every time because I always feel like there's something we're supposed to be saying that I can't remember.
Well, we do like more real-time updates on the Patreon. So that's more like, basically when this came out, the video you're watching right now, you'd be like, oh, I could probably have seen it done maybe by now. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check it out. But if you like to be surprised later on down the line, just hang out, come back and watch the videos, like, subscribe, all that nonsense.
All right, guys, and we will see you next week. We are knocking out these projects.
We're knocking them out.
Bye.